The lecture hall smelled like recycled air and desperation. Professor Thalen clicked his mandibles together, a nervous habit he developed after 20 cycles of teaching xenobiology to students who thought they knew everything. Today's lesson: deaf worlds. The kind of planets where evolution didn't just challenge life, it actively tried to murder it. Now then, Thalen began, his 3 eyes scanning the rows of bored faces. Can anyone tell me the survival rate of trained explorers on Class 12 hostile environments? Silence. Beautiful, predictable silence. A tentacle shot up from the back row. Of course. Reese, the overachiever who probably slept with her datapad under her pillow. 42%, Professor. Incorrect. Thalen allowed himself a small smile. That's the survival rate with full military support. Without it, try 7%. And that's being generous. The class shifted uncomfortably. Good. Fear was an excellent teaching tool. Then someone laughed, not a polite chuckle. A full, genuine laugh that echoed through the chamber like someone had just told the galaxy's funniest joke. Every head turned. Even Thalen's auxiliary eye swiveled independently to locate the source. There, in the middle row, sat Marcus Webb, the human. Oh, everyone knew about Marcus. Hard not to, really. He was the only member of his species in the entire Galactic Academy, admitted on some obscure scholarship program that Thalen didn't pretend to understand. The kid never spoke in class, never raised his hand, just sat there taking notes with that strange, soft exterior that made him look like he'd bruise if you breathed on him too hard. Mr. Webb. Thalen's voice could have frozen methane. Perhaps you'd like to share what you find so amusing about trained explorers dying horrible deaths. Marcus looked up, and for the first time all semester, he actually made eye contact. His face, bizarrely flat compared to proper sentient species, split into something his people called a grin. Sorry, Professor. It's just, 7% seems kinda high, doesn't it? The class erupted in whispers. Reese's scales actually changed color, a sign of extreme shock among her people. Thalen's middle eye twitched. High? You think a 93% fatality rate is high? For trained explorers, on a Class 12? Marcus shrugged, a gesture that involved lifting those strange, boneless shoulder joints. Yeah, I mean, my planet's a Class 12. We send school children on camping trips into environments like that. Most of them come back. Most of them, the casual way he said it made Thalen's circulatory fluid run cold. Your planet. Thalen pulled up his datapad, claws clicking across the screen. Earth, correct? Let me see here. Oh my. The statistics made no sense. They had to be corrupted data. No planet could naturally produce that many apex predators per square kilometer. No ecosystem could sustain that level of atmospheric oxygen without everything constantly exploding. And the weather patterns looked like someone had programmed a planet-sized hatred simulator. Class 13, Thalen whispered. Your planet is Class 13. Is it? Marcus tilted his head, genuinely curious. Huh? Never really thought about it. There are only 8 Class 13 worlds in the entire catalog galaxy. Reese's voice hit frequencies that made everyone's hearing organs hurt. They're called deaf worlds. Nothing intelligent should be able to evolve there. Well, that's kind of rude. Marcus's grin faded into something more diplomatic, but his eyes, those forward-facing predator eyes, held something dangerous. Amusement, maybe. Or challenge. We turned out all right. Thalen's assistant, a nervous plixie named Kurt, leaned in. Professor, perhaps we should move on. No. Thalen's scientific curiosity overrode his common sense. A fatal flaw, his mate always said. No, I think we should test this. Mr. Webb, how would you feel about a practical examination? Like, right now. The Academy maintains a simulated hostile environment facility. Standard protocol for advanced students. You claim your world makes ours look. What was your phrase? Kinda high in danger rating. Thalen's mandibles clicked faster now. Prove it. The class went dead silent. Practical exams in the simulation chambers were usually reserved for final-year students, and even then, they were supervised by 3 safety officers and a medical team. Marcus stood up, gathering his materials with that efficient, economical movement his species seemed to favor. Sure, why not? I've got time before my next class. Excellent. Thalen was already moving toward the door, his teaching robes billowing. Class dismissed. Anyone who wishes to observe, follow me. This should be educational. As the students filed out, chattering in a dozen different languages and sound spectrums, Kurt pulled Thalen aside. Professor, is this wise? The human seems confident. Exactly. Thalen's eyes gleamed. Overconfidence is the first lesson every explorer must unlearn. Better he learns it here, in simulation, than out there where mistakes are permanent. They had no idea what they were about to witness, none of them did. The simulation chamber looked like someone had bottled a nightmare and given it physical form. Thalen stood in the observation deck, surrounded by half the xenobiology department and what seemed like every student who'd ever heard a rumor about the quiet human. Below them, through reinforced transparent aluminum, stretched 100 square meters of what the facility proudly called a Category 11 health cape. Standard protocol, Thalen announced, pulling up the environmental readings. Temperature fluctuations between -30 and +45 Celsius. Gravity set to 1.3 standard. Atmospheric pressure at 1.4, with 15% oxygen content. Predator simulation active, environmental hazards randomized. Kurt checked his medical scanner. Shouldn't we, perhaps, start with something less intense? Nonsense. The human said his planet was worse. Below, Marcus entered through the airlock, wearing nothing but the standard academy exercise uniform. Thin fabric, minimal protection. Most species would add armor plating at minimum. Some would bring weapons. A few of the smarter ones would simply refuse. Marcus looked around the simulated jungle, nodded once, and started walking. Is he insane? Reese pressed against the observation window. The predator spawn points are active. Doesn't he know to find shelter first? Thalen pulled up the tracking display. 3 simulated apex predators were already converging on Marcus's position. Holographic, yes, but programmed with full behavioral authenticity and equipped with haptic feedback strong enough to simulate injury. Students had left this chamber with cracked shells, torn membranes, psychological trauma. The first predator struck, a Kairos striker, 6-legged, fast as lightning, with enough bite force to crush titanium. It launched from the canopy, a perfect ambush predator doing what evolution designed it to do. Marcus sidestepped, not dove, not rolled. Just stepped to the left like he was avoiding someone in a corridor. The Kairos hit the ground, confused. Its programming had never encountered prey that simply wasn't there anymore. Luck, someone muttered, then Marcus grabbed a fallen branch. What's he doing? Kurt squeaked. That's not a weapon. That's barely hardwood equivalent. The Kairos lunged again. Marcus swung the branch like he'd done it 1,000 times before, catching the creature across its sensory cluster. The hologram flickered from the impact, its pain receptors lighting up Thalen's board like a festival display. Before it could recover, Marcus had moved again, this time behind it, and brought the branch down on the creature's spine analog with enough force to trigger the simulation's kill protocol. The Kairos dissolved into pixels. The observation deck went silent. That was, Thalen checked his chronometer, 14 seconds. The record for a Kairos encounter is 4 minutes, 22 seconds. Marcus didn't celebrate. Didn't even pause. He just kept walking, branch still in hand, eyes scanning the environment like he was reading text. The second predator was a thornback, ambush type, camouflaged in the undergrowth. Its whole strategy relied on prey walking past, then striking from behind. Marcus stopped 3 meters away from it, just stopped. Can he see it? Reese's voice was barely a whisper. Impossible. The camouflage is set to 98% environmental matching. Marcus tilted his head, then threw the branch. It wasn't a graceful throw. Wasn't even particularly accurate. But it landed near the thornback, which did what any ambush predator would do when detected. It attacked. Marcus was already running. Not away. Toward, he slid under the creature's track, somehow reading the angle and velocity like he'd choreographed it, and as he slid, he grabbed a rock from the ground. Not a big rock. Just a rock. The thornback turned, trying to track him, but Marcus was faster. He came up behind it and brought the rock down on its neural cluster 3 times in rapid succession. Kill protocol activated. That's not possible, Thalen heard himself say. He has no formal combat training. His file says he's a biology student. Professor, Kurt pointed at the environmental readout with a trembling digit. The temperature just dropped to -28. He should be showing signs of hypothermia. Marcus had taken off his jacket and tied it around his waist. Is he hot? Someone asked, incredulous. The third predator didn't attack. It was a pet hunter simulation, programmed with survival instincts. It watched Marcus for 30 seconds, then retreated into the digital forest. Smart predator. Marcus continued through the simulation, and what happened next made Thalen question everything he'd taught for 20 cycles. The human didn't just survive the environment. He thrived in it. Found water within 5 minutes. Identified 3 edible plant analogs without a scanner. Built a shelter using vine analogs and broadleaves that would have made a survival instructor weep. When the simulation threw a flash flood at him, category 4 severity, Marcus climbed. When it sent a swarm of venomous insects, he made a smoke fire using damp vegetation and some kind of sap. When the gravity increased to 1.5 standard, Marcus's movement slowed, but he compensated, adjusted, continued. Time, Thalen croaked. 2 hours, 17 minutes, Kurt replied. The simulation is designed to kill or incapacitate within 90 minutes. Below, Marcus found the extraction point, pressed the completion button, and stretched his arms above his head, joints popping audibly through the speakers. The observation deck door opened. Marcus walked in, slightly sweaty, completely calm. So, he said, did I pass? Every eye in the room stared at him. Thalen's mandibles had frozen mid-click. Mr. Webb, Thalen finally managed. That simulation has a 94% failure rate among our advanced combat students. Oh! Marcus grabbed a hydration pack from the dispenser. What's the other 6%? They quit before finishing. Marcus paused mid-drink. Wait. You mean I'm the first person to actually complete it? In 11 years of operation, yes. The human looked genuinely surprised. Huh? Is that good? Reese made a sound like escaping gas. Several students simply fainted. Kurt had to sit down. Thalen pulled Marcus aside as the others began to scatter, spreading the story that would, by evening, reach every corner of the academy. Your planet, Thalen said quietly. Earth. You said you sent children camping in environments like that. Well, yeah. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, school trips. Usually supervised, obviously. Obviously, Thalen repeated, though nothing was obvious anymore. Tell me, Mr. Webb. What's the most dangerous animal on your planet? Marcus thought about it. Other humans, probably. We're persistent predators, pet hunters, tool users, and we hold grudges. Everything else just wants to eat or avoid us. We actually hunt each other for fun sometimes. Call it sport. Thalen's circulatory system did something complicated. Mr. Webb, I'm upgrading your grade to an A for the entire semester. And I'm recommending you for advanced placement in survival studies. Cool, thanks. Marcus started toward the door, then turned back. Oh, Professor. That's simulation. You might want to add more water sources. And the predators. They're too predictable. Real animals are way more creative. He laughed, Kurt sidled up to Thalen. So, death worlders. Yes. They're terrifying. Yes. And we invited them to join the galactic community. Thalen watched the door where Marcus had disappeared, thinking about a species that evolved in hell and called it home. Kurt. Yes, Professor. Remind me to never, ever visit Earth. Already added to your permanent calendar, sir. Outside, Marcus headed to his next class, completely unaware that he'd just become the most frightening student in academy history. He had a mathematics exam in 20 minutes, and he'd heard the professor was tough. That actually worried him a little. The simulation. That was just Tuesday.
So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.